Midnight's Children, published in 1981, was the second novel of the author Salman Rushdie. Born in India in 1947, Rushdie became a British citizen in 1964 and an American one in 2016. Midnight's Children was an overnight sensation on its release, and it won the Booker Prize and the later Booker of Bookers. However, it's probably fair to say that Rushdie's better known for his 1988 The Satanic Verses, which led Iran's spiritual leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini, to call for his murder. In many ways, Midnight's Children anticipates the Satanic Verses. It adopts an iconoclastic approach to India's history, and it often deploys religious and cultural imagery with a view to undermining orthodox interpretations. James Joyce had done the same thing with Roman Catholicism in Ulysses, and to some extent, it's a feature of modernism. Contesting linguistic conventions ultimately requires contesting conventions generally, since words have reference in the real world. Modernism's iconoclasm is part of its appeal. Midnight's Children is about a boy called Salim Sinai, who was born at the exact moment of India's independence, the 15th of August 1947. As a result, he's endowed with telepathic powers, and he's not the only one. Later on in the novel, he discovers that anyone born between 12 and 1 a.m. that night was similarly gifted. There are 1,001 of them in all. However, the closer to 1 a.m. they were born, the less special they are. And not all of them are morally good. Sinai uses his telepathic powers to assemble them into a unified force, which he calls the Midnight Children's Conference. He needs to use his telepathy to discover what their mission is. Unfortunately, one of them, Shiva of the Knees, is as powerful as he is and concerned mainly to thwart him. Through Salim Sinai and his preternatural gifts, Rushdie tells the story of modern India. So amongst other things, we get the war with China, the war with Pakistan, the death of Nero, the creation of Bangladesh, the rise of Indira Gandhi, whose 1975 state of emergency clearly constitutes for Rushdie the antithesis of what India originally promised. But Midnight's Children does more than retell the story of modern India. In fact, it wouldn't be much of a novel if all it did was chart events between 1947 and the book's publication. It also draws on India's deep and ancient history. Luckily for Rushdie, and this may be one of the reasons why the reaction to the Satanic Verses wrong-footed him, there's an awful lot of deliberate humour and irony in Hindu mythology, and it's possible to draw quite heavily on it without seeming at all irreverent. Finally, Midnight's Children was incredibly influential. In our useful introduction to the Everyman edition, Anita Desai suggests that Indian literature was in decline when it came along, and then in a sense it arrived at exactly the right moment. In the 1980s, she says, not only was there a new generation of readers who'd never known colonial rule and had no need to question or prove their Indian identity, but a new generation of writers eager to take their place in the international mainstream. It's an extremely enjoyable book. It's nearly 600 pages long, and it reads in places like an extended poem, but it's funny and it's full of anecdotes, and there are heroes and villains, and it's affecting and it's educational, and it's historically important. All in all, it's difficult to think of a good reason not to read it.